Let's introduce our first equine member to the Hall of Fame this year, my Juliet.
The Eclipse Award winner for Champion Sprinter in 1976, My Juliet, was bred in Kentucky by J.R. Bettersworth. She was owned for most of her career by George Weasel Jr. and trained primarily by Eugene Euster. My Juliet won 17 stakes, including 6 graded events in her 4 years of racing. A winner at 15 different tracks in 10 states, My Juliet returned from an injury during her championship season, which was prior to the introduction of separate championship designations for males and females in the sprint category. After suffering a hairline fracture of a cannon bone during her victory in the 1976 Vagrancy Handicap in May, My Juliet underwent surgery and was sidelined until the fall. Upon her return, she closed out the year with 4 consecutive wins, including a victory over Kentucky Derby and Belmont Stakes winner Bold Forbes in the Vosburg Handicap, one of several wins in her career against males. In addition to her speed, My Juliet was game in longer races too. Her victory in the 1977 Michigan Mile and 1/8 Handicap against males was evidence of her durability. She also went gate to wire to win the 1 1/16 mile Black-Eyed Susan Stakes at Pimlico during her 3-year-old season. In winning the 1977 Neshaminy Handicap at Keystone, My Juliet broke the 6.5 furlong track record with a time of 1:14. In the Neshaminy, she beat Gallant Bob, another Eclipse Award-winning sprinter. Ridden by Tony Black for the majority of her final 2 seasons, My Juliet retired with 24 wins from 36 starts. As a broodmare, she notably produced 2 daughters by Hall of Fame inductee Alydar. Tiz Juliet won the Chouvy Handicap, while Stella Madrid won the Frisette, Spinaway, Matron, and Acorn Stakes. My Juliet died in 2001 at the age of 29.
My Juliet was written by this guy, Tony Black. He won over 5,200 races, prompting many people to say, is he ever going to retire? Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Black.
It's an honor to be here. One more win, 52-12, that'll be it. Yeah, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee and for giving her the consideration and inducting her into the Hall of Fame, and one person in particular, Steve Haskin. He listened to me. He listened to me talk about her for so many years, and then he did the research. He says, hey, Tone, for once in your life, you're right. She deserves consideration. So thank you, Steve. I also want to thank the Harris family, who are the grandchildren and the wives of the Harris family of the original breeder, Mr. Bittersworth. And the Harris family is here. And one of the unsung heroes is here also, Jim Maloney. Jim Maloney was a groom of My Juliet. And you know, these guys never get much recognition, but he was very instrumental. Jim, wave your rub rag, Jimmy. Wave that rub wag. I also want to say, you know, My Juliet came in an era where the women's rights movement and the women's lib movement was just starting to get strong in the mid-'70s. Well, as you know, with the introduction, she was never intimidated by gender. She beat the boys and she beat the girls. She was just a wonderful horse to ride. You know, at one time there was a show on TV, oh, Angel Cordero. They left her up in the Vosburg. Can you believe that, Angel? Where are you, Angel? They left her up in the Vosburg. You know, there was a show on TV at that particular time, and it was called The $6 Million Man, The Bionic Man. You know, and we nicknamed her the Bionic Filly because after the operation and putting 2 screws in her cannon bone, that's when she reached the pinnacle of her career, the highlight of her career. That's when I got the opportunity as a test pilot to ride her. And she was just a wonderful horse to ride. Barbara Livingston put a book out one time that I have a copy of. It was called Visiting Old Friends. And it was a picture of her on Old Friends Farm in Kentucky, a picture of the grand old matriarch that she was, or that she is in my mind and always will be. Her mane was down to her knees and her foretop was hanging over her face. And I said, I want to go visit her. She's in the twilight, the end stages of her life. And I just want to put my hands in her neck one last time. I want to slide my hands down her neck, put them in her mane, down to her withers. You know, jockeys communicate with horses with their hands on their neck and say, Julie, you did so much for me. I love you. I never did get the opportunity to do that. And it taught me one lesson, and I'll tell you what it is. Don't just understand the real value of someone when they're gone. Tell them when they're here. My son and my wife are in the audience. Pete, I love you, Pete. Kylie, I love you, Kylie, and so thank you so much for all you've done for me. And thank you, and I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see you one last time, Julie. But wherever you are, or wherever animals and horses go, and all the things you do for us, jockeys, trainers, owners, racetrackers, thank you so much, Julie. I love you. You've been a highlight of my career.